Hey, sports fans, Larry Eder here in Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin, and Stuart Weir in outside of London, England, near Oxford. This is Athletics Chat. It is Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. We're talking about the wonders that are 2025. Hello, Stuart.
Hi. Now, before we get into that, I thought you were caught under a snowdrift or something in Wisconsin.
Pretty close. We've had about let's see what it almost a half a meter of snow. Um, it came early this year. It started
Hmm.
the week of Thanksgiving, so the last week of December,
Wow.
and we've had snow and ice. And in fact, on the 29th, I had gone to the Brooks cross country event in Kenosha. Normally
Hmm.
an easy 50-minute drive. It took 2.5 hours to get there and 3.5 hours back. Uh,
Wow.
the event
Hmm.
was fun, and I did a lot of video with me walking around and watching people run in the snow, and people seemed to really like it,
Hmm.
especially because the week before I was in Arizona watching a cross country race, and so it's been a little different this season.
Hmm. Well, glad that you made it out of the snowdrift.
Yes,
No
and
sign of snow over here, but it's been raining.
oh my gosh, well, we've got another snow coming in the next few days. Kathy's really hoping for a white Christmas. I think it's going to be close, so we'll keep our fingers crossed. But
Right. Hmm.
wishing you a very Merry Christmas, my friend, at the beginning of this. And I've still got to
Thank
get
you.
my shopping done, so I'll be working on that, you know.
Right. Hmm.
So we wanted to kind of catch up with some end of the year things, and I thought we'd start with some fun stuff. Um, Commonwealth Games is going to be happening this next year. What do you love about the Commonwealth Games, Stuart?
Well, there is going to be a Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, and for a while it looked as if it wasn't going to happen.
Uh-huh.
There are two problems with the Commonwealth Games. Um, it sort of celebrates colonialism,
Sure.
and some people feel that really it it may not have a place in the modern world.
Yeah,
And the other thing is it costs a lot of money to put on.
sure.
And the last one was in Birmingham
Mhm.
because Durban, South Africa, pulled out, having agreed to host it.
Mhm.
And the current one, which is in Glasgow, Scotland, was due to be in Melbourne. And the city decided that they couldn't afford to do it.
Wow.
Uh, and and the Gold Coast in Australia, which hosted the previous one,
Mhm.
said they would have it. But the federal government said, well, if you do it, you're funding it yourself because we're not helping. And so
Wow.
that really pulled the plug on that.
Wow.
So Glasgow is going to be smaller,
Okay.
um, less sports. It's
Okay.
got athletics, track and field.
Mhm.
Last time they converted the big soccer stadium, Hampden Park, which held sort of 50, 60,000,
Mhm.
but that was very expensive. And so they're doing it at a small stadium called Scotstoun,
Okay.
and there will be less sports than normal. There will be
Mhm.
less um, athletes than normal. But one of the things about the Commonwealth, from a British perspective, is that there isn't a British team. There's an England team, a Scotland team, a Welsh team, a Northern Ireland team, and even the little islands like Guernsey or the Isle of Man. So
Wow.
for Scotland to host it, and the Scottish athletes like Laura Muir and Gemma Reekie, Jake Whiteman, Josh Kerr will get to run for Scotland as opposed to Britain, and that for them is pretty important.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Um, the I recall a little situation that we played with in 2014 where you
Mm.
told some media folks that perhaps the US might be competing.
Well, I was just thinking of you. I mean, I was saying colonial, but I mean that would. Um, there is a gentleman called Mr. Trump, I believe, who may have some opinions on whether U.S. really is a colony of Britain or not.
Yes, and he seems to also want to he's looking at Greenland and, a few other places too, Canada. And, I think he mentioned Mexico is becoming part of the great United States. And that there's been a lot of discussion about that, let's just say. So we'll keep it at there. Um, the European Championships will be in Birmingham next summer as
Yes,
well.
yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the Europeans are every 2 years,
Mhm.
and it's a really good meet. The last time was in Rome in that enormous Olympic stadium, but they were getting 10 to 15,000, which is not a bad crowd. But if you're
Yeah,
putting it in a 50,000 seater stadium, it is a problem.
yeah.
Now, Birmingham will sell out, and I think the capacity for Birmingham is a, is around 20,000, but they put in temporary seats to take it beyond 30,000.
Wow.
They
Wow.
did that for the last Commonwealth game, and
Hmm.
they will do it, and that will sell out. And
Great.
their pricing is good. I
Hmm.
mean, there's a certain soccer event happening in the US which is getting very bad publicity for
Yeah.
charging $3,000 if you want to see the final.
Wow.
But Birmingham has done a lot of family tickets,
Hmm.
and they've done good prices for the mornings. So it will undoubtedly sell out. And, one of the great things about the European Championship from a British perspective is that we win lots of medals. And
Yeah.
that helps the home crowd as well.
Sure. Sure.
I would
Sure.
expect to see all the top British athletes competing.
Oh, great. Great. Now, what about the Commonwealth Games? What will the turnout be for that one?
I mean, you can instantly think of people like Jake Whiteman, Joyce Kerr, Laura Muir, Eilish McColgan, um, Jamariki, who will certainly want to compete for Scotland. I
Hmm.
think there'll be a pretty good turnout because it fits into the calendar. You can do all the leagues without any clashes with either the Commonwealth or the European.
Hmm.
So I would expect to see um, a very strong British team winning quite a lot of medals. What will be really interesting is that the last one was in Rome, and
Yeah.
Italy topped the medal table. Whether they can travel and win medals will be interesting to see.
Sure. 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 No, that's a good point. That's a very good point. The Italians did fantastic. Um, who are your British athletes of the year?
Well, I think you'd have to start with Jake Whiteman
Okay.
because just because of the history that Jake won that amazing world championship in 2022 in Oregon and then got injured, missed the entire 2023 season, was unable to defend his title, got injured in 2024, literally in his last rep of his last training session before Paris, and missed
Wow.
Paris. And so for him to go to the World Championship in Tokyo and really come within literally a couple of inches of winning the gold medal was
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was great because of the emotional story. And, Georgia Hunter Bell is another with such a strong human story that, she went to college in America, was overtrained, got injured, gave up athletics, gave up running, then took it up just 2 years ago, um, and got herself to the Olympics and got a medal, and got herself to change the events from 15 to 800,
Hmm.
which was taking a risk running against her training partner, Keely Hodgkinson.
Hmm.
And the cheeky so and so not only ran against Keely, but beat her.
Yeah. Yeah. No, no, I think that's it's one of the pieces I want to write for the end of the year. I think that's just global inspiration,
Yeah.
it's a fantastic one. Um,
But having said that,
yeah.
the worlds were very disappointing from a British perspective. I mean,
Yeah.
there was the bad luck that Josh Kerr got injured, that Keeley wasn't fully fit because she'd been out for a year. Molly uh, Godry, similarly, Matt Hudson Smith didn't perform to the level he's capable of. And for all our funding, not one relay medal.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about the relays because that was really a surprise to me.
Mm.
Um, I thought the quality of the team on the women's 4x4 was a little short of what they've had in the past. What did you think of that?
Well, I mean, to go from 5 relay medals in Paris
Hmm.
to none a year later um, was very, very surprising.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, when Charles von Comedy was the head coach, he used to say to athletes, "I'm not picking you for the individual because I want you to be fresh for the relay," and that wasn't popular.
Yeah,
But pragmatically, he may well have been right.
yeah,
Rather than having you go out and train and run and go out and in the prelim or the semi, I want you to be concentrating, thinking I'm going to win a medal in the relay.
yeah,
And although I mean, we did how we went from 5 medals in Paris to none. It's a question that I haven't heard an answer to, but I think that there must have been some difficult conversations going on among the coaching staff at
sure.
UK Athletics.
I think you're right. I think you're
Because I
right.
mean, we fund about 30 athletes for
Yeah.
relays.
What did you think of Katarina Johnson Thompson?
Remarkable,
Mhm.
remarkable for her. Um, she's had so many injuries, um, but she just keeps coming back and winning medals.
Yeah, yeah. I think that she really, I think about her and the legacy of Katerina and Jessica Ennis
Mm,
and Miss Sutherland before that. And,
mm,
you know, um, you've had this incredible group of women multi-eventers.
mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say I did an interview with Jade O'Dowda,
oh, wow.
who came fourth in the European indoors when you and I watched together.
Yeah.
And it's a lovely story because she was a little girl watching the 2012 Olympics
Wow.
and Jess Ennis winning a gold medal. She said to her mum and dad, "Can I go and try athletics?" And so they took her to the local club and she became a heptathlete. And I mean, she could not speak more positively about Katerina as a teammate, let alone as an athlete in her own right, but just
Mhm.
how encouraging she is. And you often see the two of them laughing together between events. So Katerina has done amazing things, but she's also such an inspiration
Yeah.
uh, to the up and coming.
That's one of the stories that really needs to get out there. Some of these
Mm,
athletes are incredible like that. Um, One of the most popular, and I'm going to kind of throw out of order for a bit. Um, One of the events that's most popular with our readers, whether you're writing it, Stuart, or I'm
mm,
writing it, is about our women pole vaulters.
mm.
In
Probably more when I'm writing it.
Yes, of course. Um, and the piece, our most popular piece last year
Mm,
of
mm,
anything was the piece you did. It was in 2023. You did the piece you did on
mm,
Katie Moon
mm,
in the pole vault and the tie, you
mm,
know. And then last year, um, the Olympic pole vault was quite popular. The,
yes.
the Brits have some spectacular pole vaulters. You've just had one, retire in the last year,
Mhm,
and then you've had
mhm,
Molly Cottery, who is, I think, brilliant, but has
mhm,
been dealing with a lot of injuries. Any
mhm.
updates on her at all? How she's doing?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard. I mean, Molly's a lovely girl, and I mean, she just described herself as injury prone. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
the kind of girl she would say who will have a piece of gym equipment and drop it on her hand and that kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
But in all seriousness, you mentioned Holly Bradshaw
Yeah.
and Molly, and an awful lot of credit has to go to Scott Simpson,
Yes, yes.
who coached both of those.
Hmm.
And in fact, you know that Scott is so keen on pole vault that he even married one.
Wow.
His wife, Sally Peak, Sally Simpson,
Oh, yeah,
uh,
yeah. Oh, gosh, I forgot. Yeah, yeah.
was a medalist in the Commonwealth Games.
Wow.
Um, and I mean, Scott is one of those people that he will talk to you at pole vault forever.
Well, you did
He
that
I
series,
did, yes.
Stuart,
Mm,
and that was what, 2020 or 2021, I
something like
thought.
that. Yeah, yeah.
And it was crazy how many people were downloading it. Coaches were loving it. We sent it to the Pole Vault Summit, a few other places. People just, and I think there's like four pieces. I'm going to put them on a landing page and get them out there
Right.
again because I think people really enjoy that.
The funniest thing that Scott ever said to me was I was asking him a question about Mondo.
Yeah.
He said, you know, I think there are flaws in Mondo's technique,
Ah!
but you'd have to be a very brave man to tell him.
I like that very much. Very, very much. Just
Yeah.
closing up a couple little things here. So it does, okay, where you're at. Get you
Yeah.
back here. Okay, good.
Actually, since you mentioned pole vault, I mean, I spoke to Kitty Moon last week,
And
and
how's she
I'll be
doing?
sending you. Yeah, she's doing well. And actually, there's a story just breaking,
Yeah.
literally in the last couple of days,
Okay.
that in the London Diamond League, it's the men's pole vault with Mondo in the stadium,
Yeah.
but there is a very strong rumor that they're going to do a women's pole vault as a street event
Oh, nice.
in Oxford Circus, right next to the Nike store.
Oh, that would be glorious. Oh my
Mm,
gosh, that would be fun.
mm.
Wow.
So
Okay. Well then,
I messaged Kitty and told her to get it in her diary, and she said it sounds a lot of fun.
well,
But you know, even though she competes for America, she's really half British with a British husband.
oh, of course. And he coaches crew too. So,
Yeah,
he's got
mm,
many good things going for him. No, it was
yeah,
funny, Stuart, when I missed you so much in Tokyo this time,
mm.
because you were there the last time and I couldn't go.
Yes,
So we
yeah.
kind of were strangers, in the night. But I was going up and down the mix zone line. It was quite frustrating, but I found Katie. She was
Mm,
walking out with Jay Holder, and I go, Katie, can I get a minute with you? And Jay goes, well, okay. I mean, Jay's the USATF liaison
mm,
guy, great guy.
mm,
And so Katie and I chatted for about 3 minutes, and then I got Sandy too, and
mm.
and oh, and then I got the young woman from Slovak Republic. Um,
Yes,
Sutesh, Kristen
yes. Tina
Sutesh.
Sutit, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
Tina Sutesh. And but they were all, wonderful. But
mm,
I asked both Sandy and Katie that I went through all the medals they won, but I also talked about the days they did not win. And I
mm,
said, could you please tell young athletes that when you win a medal at a world championship, you're one of the top three in the world. And they both were great with it.
mm,
I have to tell you, of all the mixed zone interviews I did, the two top in Tokyo were
mm.
Sandy and then first Katie, then Sandy, and then our friend Ryan Krauser.
Right, yeah.
Because
But
Ryan's always good.
just he is, yes. Just before we leave pole vault, one of my moments of the year was
Uh-huh.
Paris, the pole vault press conference,
Yeah.
and Katie was asked, "Do you have any hobbies?" And she said, "Don't really." And Sandy, who was with her,
Yeah.
said, "You need to keep reptiles, girl."
Yeah, I could. I'm not sure I can see Katie doing that. I see
No.
Sandy, that's just Sandy's personality, you know. She just did a little Instagram thing about
Yeah.
how cold it was today, but
Uh,
we were cracking up a little bit about that.
Look,
Um,
I have a question for you.
Shoot.
Um, I mean, Sandy. and Katie are brilliant.
Yeah.
But do you think their days are numbered with the Mall twins?
I think the mall kids, the girls, the twins, are incredible athletes and incredibly talented. My take on the pole vault, and you correct me if you think
Mm,
I'm wrong, it's one of those events that requires the maturity of focus. And you
mm-hmm,
only get that by vaulting a heck of a lot and
mm-hmm,
having some really bad days. And
yeah,
I'm not trying to be negative, but
mm,
you know, think about Katie coming through.
yes,
Think about Jen Sir. If when
mm-hmm,
Jen Sir started, she was a volleyball player.
mm,
And then she got into the vault and she had some incredible success. But I remember her battling Isinbayeva. And my
mm,
gosh, those things were
mm,
tough. But if Jen hadn't
mm-hmm,
had the
yeah,
experience,
mm,
and that's the thing that makes Katie so special.
mm,
You remember that piece you did about Katie? I think this was after Tokyo, and she was kind of lost
yes,
spiritually. She
mm,
just didn't
mm,
know
mm,
what she should do. Did she want to continue to compete?
yeah,
I call it a dark night of the soul, right?
yeah,
And I think that all champion athletes have
mm,
those.
mm,
You think
yeah,
about Al Oder in the pole vault. All four times that Al Oder won gold medals, he
mm,
was never the favorite. He was always injured. And the
mm,
third time, he had torn a stomach muscle 2 days before that they had to tape him. So, and he said he could barely breathe.
mm,
So I think there's something there about, I think the Moles are going to be spectacular. I see a day when they go 1-2 in a major championship.
mm.
Um, but I think it's a few years. And I think Katie and Sandy, I selfishly, I hope to see them around for another 2 to 4 years, you know?
Well, I mean, you're absolutely right about Katie. That 2022, she was struggling, and she won the Worlds in Oregon, and then just ended her season.
Yeah,
And it could have been her last season. Now she's talking about LA.
yeah. Oh my gosh, I know. You think
Mm.
about that. It's
I
just,
mean, but it's simple. One of the things that Katie told me, the very simple thing, is that she's living with her husband.
yeah, yeah,
People often don't understand the sacrifices that married athletes sometimes have to make. That, you know, Katie's coach was in one city, her husband's job was in another city.
yeah, yeah. No, and
Uh,
then Sandy talked about that too. In
mm,
the
mm,
interview I did with Sandy, she talked about 6 months of the year being away from
yeah.
her husband and how
Mm,
difficult that was for her.
mm.
And that just that had to be terrible.
Yeah, Laura Muir used to have a saying, a happy athlete is a fast athlete.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's true. That's true. Um, let's do one more pole vaulter. Mondo.
Right?
Um,
He's good.
yeah, we could end it right there for
Mm,
Mondo, but
mm,
the thing about Mondo too is, he could be a tennis brat, but he's not.
hmm.
He's been in the sport. Like
Yeah.
I remember interviewing Andre Agassi, and this was back in the late '80s. When he was a young'un.
Mm,
What a nice, charming person. I didn't find out till years later that he was, had all kinds of
mm,
chemical issues and stuff like that.
mm,
But he always was a nice person. And then, after he retired, him and his wife do this foundation in Las
mm,
Vegas that a coach I knew, the late Steve Miller, used to manage, where they take care of schools and the kids who get B averages, they put them into colleges and give them scholarships. And they keep a
mm,
B average, they
mm,
pay for their education. And I think
mhm,
that's magnificent. But
mhm.
Mondo is just a class act. I've
Yes.
seen him in an airport for 9 hours with me and 300 of his closest friends. And he was very nice. He talked to people. He was very relaxed.
Yes.
It's not an act.
Yeah.
He
Mm,
he has the ability to turn the competition thing on and off.
mm,
And he seems to um, draw an energy from the crowd.
Yeah.
which is like our friend Sam Kendricks.
Mm, mm,
Sam had a spectacular year this year. He
mm,
missed a medal
mm,
by oh so little, but
mm,
what was great in my mind is he spiritually and mentally did well in Tokyo because that
mhm,
last time there was terrible,
mm. Yeah.
and he was able to deal with it. And I think he and his wife just had their second baby
Oh,
uh,
right. Yeah.
while he
Yeah.
was in Tokyo, right?
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
so congratulations, Sam.
Mm.
But
I mean, I was just going to say that I totally agree with you. They're both lovely people. I mean, I was on a train from Oslo to Stockholm,
mhm.
and I just said something to Sam. I said, I heard you talking about something that sounded really interesting. He just said to me, I'm just getting myself a coffee. I'll bring it back and sit with you. And he just
Oh,
came
no.
and sat with me for half an hour
Oh, great.
and explained his approach to life and pole vaulting.
He he is just he's done some of the best interviews we've ever
Mm,
been the privilege
mm,
of sitting through. I
yeah.
remember giving him 15 minutes at the pole vault competition in Doha in 2019, and they
Mm,
were waiting for Mondo and our Piotr
mm,
Lisek to
mm,
go through drug testing. And so
mm,
Sam was there, and I said, Sam, sell the pole vault. And he sold the pole vault, and then after him, Damian Warner gave me
mm,
10 minutes on the decathlon. And I've
mm.
saved those. I'm going to
Wow.
put them in a special because it was amazing.
Mm,
They're
yeah.
both so articulate. They both
Mm,
love their events. And I don't think you can talk about the events
mm.
that you care about without one loving them and knowing them well. They're students of the sport.
Absolutely.
Good
Yeah.
deal. Um,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
who I'm fascinated with, and I know very little about Stuart, is Ines Fitzgerald. I watched her race at the Europeans this weekend, which I
Yes.
thought was a
Yeah.
brilliant broadcast.
Yes.
Hannah England and Tim
Yeah.
Hutchings are always
Yeah.
good. Um,
Mm.
but the course was fascinating too. But my gosh, she got out very, very fast and just ran like the wind.
Yeah. This is the third year in a row she's won that.
Uh-huh.
And she also won the European under 20s.
Yeah.
She reached the final of the European indoors where we were there.
Yeah.
Um, and you know she's she's very young,
Yeah.
and she's a full-time student, and not the American model of student athlete.
Yeah.
No scholarships and stuff like that. She just has to fit her training into a normal academic program.
Mhm.
Um, she didn't do particularly well in Tokyo, but then you have to remember that she's 19.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so, um, but I think she's got incredible potential.
Hmm. Yeah, I do too. I do too.
Mm.
And I like just she reminds me of David Bedford. She just goes out
Mm.
very fast and she tries to do it as long as she can. Um,
Can I just go back on? You asked
sure.
me about British athletes.
Yeah.
I mean, the one that I enjoyed most from Tokyo, not being there, but watching was Amy Hunt
Yeah. Oh my
getting
God.
her medal.
Yes.
Because I've actually just uh, I mean, I've sent you a couple of
Yep.
articles
We've
on
got the first
her
one up. Yep.
that, um, she was an outstanding junior, then got injured, went to university and an old traditional university who, well, frankly, made it very difficult for her to carry on running. And
Yeah.
that's the one I think you got that you'll be posting in a day or
Yes.
two.
Yep.
Um, and she went to Italy and joined the group with people like Adam Jamili, Jeremiah Azu, um, Daryl Nita,
Hmm.
with Marco Aureli.
Yeah.
And they all left, but she stayed.
Yeah.
And she speaks so highly of Marco.
Yeah.
And she's really now, uh, well, I mean, just to get that silver medal um, in Tokyo was remarkable. You
Yeah.
know, beating all the Americans but one, beating all the Jamaicans. Um, just a remarkable performance.
Mhm.
And, you know, uh, she did her degree in I would say, the Renaissance. I think you say the Renaissance.
Yes. I'll
And
say Renaissance today for you. Okay.
thank you. And so she is studying in Italy. And on her day off, she goes to a museum
Nice. Nice.
and just studies some of the Italian culture for real
Yeah.
that she studied in the library as a student.
Yeah.
And just an exceptionally nice girl.
Yeah. No, she, when I told her that I worked with you, she lit up and said to say hello. It was
Mm,
after I got to ask her questions at the 200
mm,
medal ceremony.
yeah.
And
Mm-hmm,
what a very nice person.
mm-hmm.
And no, you guys, you had some Max Bergen, I thought
Yes.
comported himself very well.
Yes. Yes.
Uh, I think that um,
Remarkable story. Coached by his dad. And his
really,
dad had never coached anyone else and
wow,
hasn't coached anyone else since.
wow, wow. That's an interesting relationship because
Mm,
I remember Wendy Sly telling me stories
mm,
sometimes about Seb being coached by his father.
yes.
Sometimes it was good, and sometimes it could be challenging, you
Mm,
know, and it worked for them. But I watched some Americans be coaching their sons, and I did not like what I saw. So I refused to coach my son when he was a young athlete. I
mhm,
helped him find a good coach. He got to
mhm.
encourage him, but I thought the important job for me was to be a dad. I thought maybe I'd
Yeah.
get too invested in it. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
And
mhm,
so that's a very tough. It's like watching Mondo with his parents.
mm,
They have found a way to make it work.
mm,
And I've hung out with, his dad is his dad. I mean, I've known his dad for years and years,
mhm,
and admire him and really respect him. His mom has a different approach, and Mondo gets things from both of them,
mm,
and that's what makes him. Besides what he is, what part of what makes him successful is the culture he has around him. I think
mhm,
that's really key. And I think more and more athletes have to look at that and observe why are they successful?
mhm,
It's the whole picture. And without that, without the focus, without the drive, but also
mhm,
without the support structure. Um,
mhm.
Brits at the Euro cross country, Stuart. Few quick observations there.
Yeah, 6 medals.
Mhm.
Uh, you mentioned Ennis Fitzgerald, and also in the U20 we won the team gold. Uh, Megan Keith, who hasn't quite done it yet
Yeah.
on the track, she came second
Mhm.
behind the Nadia, the Italian lady,
Okay.
and again there were 2 medals in the mixed relay and the men's U20. But interestingly, I don't know whether this is generally the case, but we seem to have a pack of cross country runners who don't shine on the track,
Yeah.
and that most of our track runners don't do the cross country, or not
Mhm.
to a serious
Yeah.
extent.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not like the old days where, you look at a guy like Bedford or Stewart
Yeah,
who ran
yeah,
indoor, outdoor, and cross country, and it seemed to really help them.
mhm,
And when I remember asking those guys how often they raced, and it would be like 35, 40 times a year.
yeah,
And
yeah,
now I think we've gone and maybe that was too much.
mhm,
Now we've gone to the other extreme where people just don't race that much, and it's a little frustrating watching as a
mhm,
fan and as a journalist.
yeah.
Um, we're down to our last couple things. Jakob Ingebrigtsen, have you ever had the chance to chat with him by yourself?
Just in mixed zones, and I was always enormously impressed with. I remember one time in Zurich when uh, he must have spoken for 20 minutes to a Norwegian journalist, and I was sort of second in line from there. When he came to me, it was as if I was the first person in the world who'd ever asked him the question.
Wow, that's
Just
really cool.
very engaging.
That's real. Yeah,
Um,
I met him in Dusseldorf in
mhm,
19
yeah.
with his brothers, and he was right after he ran a 1500, and he just quite nice and relaxed, enjoyed the meet,
Mm,
and then seeing him at the Prefontaine in 2023, we spent some time because he figured out that his agent liked me, Daniel Westfeld, and
oh
so
yeah.
we talked a little bit about. He told me that he thinks he's made for the 3000. And
Hmm.
then when we got to the Appledorn, I reminded him, I said, last year, Jakob, you told me you were made for the three. He goes, he goes, I like running the 5,000, the 3,000, the 1,500 and the mile. And he wasn't ready to give up the mile and the 1,500 yet,
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
He did a really fun video um, 2 days ago. Dear cross country fans, and about why he didn't go to the Europeans.
Hmm.
And it was very thoughtful. And, he's just getting healthy again, didn't want to get hurt,
Hmm.
and he'll be back.
Hmm.
But I think he's great for the sport.
Yeah.
Last story about him at the Prefontaine in 2024. I was waiting to do an interview with him after the Bowerman Mile, where Kerr had beat him. And there were about 300 American high school kids stacked up behind me who wanted to meet Jakob. And I went up to him and I said, "Who do you want to meet?" And they go, "Jakob Ingebrigtsen." And I just go to Jakob and said, "Jakob, I'll interview you after you talk to these kids." And he was great. He came over and he chatted with them, signed autographs, did selfies. He
Hmm.
gets it.
Yeah.
He knows that he has a rarefied life.
Hmm.
His wife and his child and him are
Hmm.
set for life.
Hmm.
He he's got a great sponsor, Nike and the Norwegian TV, where they make some good bucks. And he does his part and he doesn't complain about it, which is great.
Yeah.
So,
Once at the Bislett,
yeah,
I was staying in the event hotel, got into the elevator, um, and he was there,
yeah,
and he just chatted to me as if he was the man next door.
yeah,
As you say, just a lovely person.
yeah. We're very
Hmm.
lucky, Stuart, and you would use the word blessed. And so I'll use that today too.
Yeah.
Um, I think we're very blessed in this sport. We have
Hmm.
some wonderful people
Yeah.
that we get to hang out with. We
Hmm.
see them in their good times, in their tragic times. Um, it's hard not to feel sad for them sometimes.
Yes,
Like
absolutely.
I remember watching Sharika Jackson this year,
Hmm.
and I was acutely aware that she wanted to do better in the 100 and the 200, but she knew she'd given it all she could.
Yeah.
And after the 100, she was angry,
Hmm.
but she was able to figure it out and focus. And I really was uh, impressed by that. Um, but as we've said before, we've done this for, I think I've been bothering you for almost 14 years now. Uh, I'm trying to, did I meet you at the City Games one year? Was that when it was?
Could well have been.
Yeah.
I went to quite a few city games.
With all those crazy people. That was an interesting crowd.
Yeah.
The last thing, well, it's not going to be the last thing because I don't want to end on a negative. One of the things we need to address a little bit, and I don't know enough to talk a lot about it. I just think the Grand Slam track series is sad. And
Yes.
for me, for several reasons. One,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of athletes who are not going to get paid, who
Yes.
performed incredibly well. I
Mm.
felt really bad for Chris Chavez and his team. It's
Mm.
Sidious people were giving them trouble, but they worked really hard to help get the series going. And it
Mm,
looks like Chris is going to get stuck, and that's not fair. I know
mm,
how hard these guys work, and I
mm,
felt really bad for him about that. Um, the other one is Michael Johnson. You know, um, I, I, I I've known Michael for a long enough time. I've known he's had challenges with business things before. Um, I think he really believed in this,
mm,
um, and perhaps he believed in it too much.
mm,
Um, right now, they're filing for bankruptcy, and they say they've got 50 grand in assets, and he's got 9.1 million in what he owes people. And it's just sad. It's not good for
mm,
the sport. It's not good for anybody involved.
mm,
Um, do you want
mm.
to add anything to that?
Well, no, I mean, I know one or two athletes who haven't been paid, and they're not the superstars like Mondo.
Yeah.
$100,000 was a lot of money for them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, no, no. And
Yeah.
well, I was thinking about what someone was telling me, I'm trying to think where I was. He was telling me about the eighth placer in one of the jumps, and she had won $10,000, and that was going to pay 6 months rent,
Mm,
and she needed that, and now
mm,
she doesn't have it, and that's
mm.
that to me, that's the casualties of this sport.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and
Interestingly, BBC dropped Michael from their commentary team.
wow. Yeah, I knew he had withdrawn from the world
Mm,
champs. Um,
mm.
I was told on his own from some BBC contacts, but I think he's out
I don't know.
completely now, and that's sad because I thought he
Yeah.
did a good job. And
Yeah, yeah, but I think that what I read, and I haven't spoken to anyone directly,
yeah,
was that they just felt it was inappropriate.
yep. I think I one of the things I love about BBC and transparency, I do a little bit of freelance work for them, and I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do besides chatting with Stuart.
Could
Because they,
you could you just tell your mate in Washington
yeah.
that it'd be a good idea if he didn't sue them?
I really think it's probably one of the dumber things in a list of very dumb things that the current president has done. Just to be ballpark frank, yes, I will send a note to him and see.
Mm,
You know, you, I don't know if you know the story about the last time he ran for president. Um, I sent him a note via Twitter and asked him to rescue all the people in Zamunda, which was a fake country that was mentioned in Eddie Murphy's movie Coming to America.
mm.
And Twitter cut me off of all 7 of my accounts saying I was insulting the president. So, I had to start stuff back up again. But, Zamunda lives. So,
Yeah,
Stuart, we have had a lovely catch up again. Uh,
indeed.
a early Merry Christmas to you and your family, my friend.
Thank you, and to you.
Thank you for writing a million words for Run Blog Run.
A million words indeed.
Million words. And I'm going to send you 10 questions that have to be answered with less than 5 words. I'm going to do something fun with you. You'll get
Right.
that in the next few days. And
Yep.
it's going to be about, random things because, my brain is random.
Mm,
As
yeah.
my girlfriend Kathy would tell you, and you've met her, you know that she's
Yes.
a smart woman. Well,
Mm,
besides, being with me, that other thing. But
mm.
Stuart, have a great holiday. Merry Christmas, my friend. Thank you for doing Athletics Chat. This is Larry Eder and Stuart Weir for Athletics Chat 2025. Thank you, Mike Deering, for producing this for us, too. Peace out.